course, the 4-hour supervision course. And in so doing, we are mandated by the board to provide certain competencies for you, certain objectives that are listed by the board we have covered in what we hope is sufficient detail for you. But we need to hear back from you to see if we hit the mark for you out there. You are the final consumer. And so in order for us to know if we're doing a good job for you, we need to hear from you. And if you want changes, please let us know. George, would you like to just go over exactly what resources are available to them?
Yes, we both have websites that are cited here throughout the CE. And on the workshop on ggcenter.org, the page that I've put up, and I'm going to be expanding on that over time, but what's there currently, when you log in, you're first going to come upon competency worksheets. I'm developing competency tools, and so I have to change the ones that are there now because I've since changed them. But you'll first come upon those because that's kind of the last thing I've done. And then you'll come on to Word documents using templates that we show as we've gone through the course, followed by PDFs from other organizations like in Australia and Santa Clara County, California. I've produced copies of a number of their templates and their websites, because you can find more on the website. I just gave you a flavor of what's available there, followed by some tests and measurements that you might want to consider using or may have access to. For instance, some burnout scales, a suicide scale that we talk about. We both did a lengthy suicide prevention workshop, and we took the Columbia training to administer their suicide assessment scale. And then trauma screening tools are the last grouping there, like the ACEs, as we've talked about, and some of the others. So there's like 3 or 4 to give you some things to look at in terms of where you probably are using these, but if not, here are some examples. And I believe I have copies of those in that. I did a menu, and then I think as you go through, you might find them listed or provided there. And then a number of articles associated with the CE. So articles we've referenced in the CE, not all of them, but key ones will be also provided. And then we've put up our supervision videos. Now, these videos, or today's videos, will be going up now, but we had done some previous ones which were rather lengthy. We're not using them in the 12-hour and the 4-hour at this point, but I'm leaving them up just for your information. If you have insomnia, this will fix it. And so moving forward, I'll let Dr. Bucky continue along our list of things we want to say. Oh, by the way, before that, I just want to make a disclaimer. In the initial discussion, I said that our order was different than the board's order, but we actually did, looking at this at the end, we're following the order in which the laws and rules list in their documents in terms of the order in which we present the material. I just wanted to clarify that because that was a misunderstanding at first. Okay.
Because, George, we really are doing what we promised to do. We're taking in feedback from our first exposure of the 4-hour course earlier in this spring in 2022. And now we're infusing much of that requests for change or clarity back into the rendition that you have just completed for this course. And as such, as George reminded you, and I want to do so again, in your notebooks, you will be seeing all of the references on each slide that we have done, and we provide that for you in a repetitive fashion, so you don't have to go looking around for things when you need them. However, if you're a bibliography or a reference list person, you have that with this course too. And you also have the housing address for obtaining the materials for this course here in the course itself. And it's a link, and it will be emphasized in your references that you will receive as well as a part of your notebook component. So again, we're looking for your feedback, and we want to know if you would be interested in sharing our other courses, but also in a brainchild that George has had cooking now for about a year. George, do you want to tell them about it?
Yes, we've talked about having a certificate program for qualified supervisors in terms of offering additional material that can't be contained in the 12 or the 4-hour workshops. One of them is to look at this idea of competencies. That will be about a 2-hour workshop that we've been talking about that will be the first that we offer. And then there's some elements around business in terms of how to set up a practice and in terms of that element of what the business part of it is. We may do this ourselves or have someone who we respect in terms of their work provide with us this material. And then I think what's important now, though, is when we get your feedback, if there are workshops you think are needed that expand on what we've been talking about, it would be helpful to figure out what people are looking for in terms of if they want to become certified as a qualified supervisor, what would you want to further have knowledge, skills, and abilities around? And so we really warmly encourage your sharing with us what other things might need to be in a program that would offer a certificate. Also, the 12-hour workshop for the initial 12-hour, we are redoing that one as well from earlier this year. And by spring, we'll be offering both of these, both online, and in some cases, we'll be doing a mental health workshops around the 4-hour and 12-hour as well.
So we have left for you on this slide some key information elements, those links that we just mentioned to both websites and an email address for respectively each of us. So please do let us hear from you. And when you go on the Your Choices website, you will see a sampling of other courses that George has already listed for you that we have done, and you will be able to link to those courses. Eventually, you won't have to go very far because we're going to have them all housed in one place for you. So again, please let us hear from you. Message us, call us, write us, send us an email, whatever you need to do. And we'll be glad to take your concerns under consideration, and your comments certainly will be pointedly used and applied. That is our promise to you as being our clients too. So thank you very much again for joining us. George, I'll leave it with you for your closing remarks.
Well, one closing thought is that the notebooks that you have from this workshop, feel free to copy whatever you might want out of it to share with your interns or in your practice. This is all available for you to use however you might want to, but I think it provides you with a booklet of materials that you could use or refer back to. But I encourage you to share them with your interns if you feel you'd like to do so. That will continue to help expand their understandings and practice without you having to reconstruct the wheel. Again, I've thoroughly enjoyed being here today, and I hope you've had a good experience with the continuing ed hours. Thank you.
Thank you.